You lived an entire life before the age of 3. You opened your eyes for the first time. You heard a voice and decided it was safe. You felt hunger, warmth, fear, and comfort. You took your first steps. You said your first word. Thousands of moments that quietly built everything you would become. And you remember none of them. Not a single one. Most people assume the answer is simple. Your brain was too young, too undeveloped to hold anything. But that explanation has one problem. It's wrong. Because your baby brain wasn't failing to record your life. It was recording everything. The memories existed. Something else destroyed them.
In the 1980s, psychologist Carolyn Rovee-Collier ran a deceptively simple experiment. She tied a ribbon from a baby's ankle to a mobile hanging above their crib. The babies quickly learned that kicking made it move, and they loved it. When she brought the same babies back days later, they remembered immediately. They started kicking before anyone touched the ribbon. Even 2-month-old infants held that memory for days. 6-month-olds remembered for weeks. So the question was never whether babies could form memories. They could. The question was why those memories eventually vanish completely.
The first part of the answer lives deep inside your skull. A small curved structure called the hippocampus is what transforms your experiences into memories you can consciously revisit. The kind where you close your eyes and actually go back. But in infancy, this system is still under construction. A critical region called the dentate gyrus, the gateway through which new memories pass, isn't fully wired until somewhere between ages 2 and 4. Without it, your infant brain could feel experiences, learn from them, be permanently changed by them, but it couldn't move them into long-term storage the way an adult brain does. It's like recording something onto a tape that keeps dissolving before it fully sets. But that's only half the story.
In 2014, 2 neuroscientists in Toronto discovered something that changed everything. Josselyn and Frankland at the Hospital for Sick Children had a radical hypothesis. What if the very process building your brain was also destroying your memories? In early childhood, your hippocampus produces new neurons at an extraordinary rate. This is called neurogenesis, and it's essential for development. But every new neuron integrating into existing circuits disrupts the connections already there, the connections holding your memories. To test this, they artificially increased neurogenesis in adult mice. Those mice began forgetting things they had previously learned. When they slowed neurogenesis in infant mice, those infants held on to memories far longer than normal. The results were published in Science. The conclusion was deeply counterintuitive. Your brain wasn't too weak to hold memories, it was too busy growing. The same explosion of new neurons that built your mind also overwrote everything stored inside it. Your earliest experiences weren't lost because they were never saved. They were lost because your brain kept building new rooms and tearing down the old walls in the process.
But there's something even stranger. To form autobiographical memories, the kind where you are the main character, you need something most people never think about. You need a sense of self, an understanding that you exist as a person, that things are happening to you. Developmental psychologists Mark Howe and Mary Courage identified this as a critical missing piece. There's a simple test for it. Place a small dot of paint on a baby's nose. Hold them in front of a mirror. Before 18 months, babies treat the reflection like another child. They reach toward the mirror, not toward their own face. After 18 months, something shifts. They touch their own nose. They recognize themselves. And this moment of self-recognition tracks almost exactly with the earliest age at which lasting autobiographical memories begin to form. In other words,
you cannot remember being a baby, partly because there was no you yet, not in the way you experience yourself now. And then there is language. Psychologist Catherine Nelson spent years studying how children form lasting memories and reached a striking conclusion. Language doesn't just describe memories, it structures them. Before you could speak, your experiences existed as raw sensation, sounds, textures, emotions, light. But without words to organize them, those impressions had nothing to hold on to. Once children begin begin speaking, and especially once adults start narrating their experiences back to them, their ability to form lasting memories improves dramatically. Language gives memory a skeleton. Without it, experience is like water with no container. It exists, then it disappears.
And here is where the story becomes extraordinary. Psychologist Chi Wang at Cornell discovered that the age of your earliest memory varies depending on where you grew up. In Western cultures, where parents frequently narrate their children's lives, ask questions, build personal stories, earliest memories typically reach back to around age 3.5. Among the Maori of New Zealand, whose culture places deep emphasis on personal history and oral storytelling, earliest memories reach back to age 2.5. In certain East Asian cultures, where early childhood narratives focus less on the individual self, first memories often begin closer to age 4. The culture surrounding you as a child literally determined how far back your memory reaches. Your past wasn't only shaped by your brain, it was shaped by the people who talked to you about it. So here is what actually happened to your earliest years. Your hippocampus wasn't ready. Your neurons were growing so fast they erased what came before. You had no sense of self to anchor experiences to, and you had no language to give those experiences a structure that could survive. It wasn't one failure, it was everything, all at once. But this is where the story stops being about memory and starts being about something much harder to answer. If someone lived those years, felt every moment, built the emotional foundations you still carry today, then who exactly were they? They looked through your eyes. They heard your mother's voice for the first time. They decided who could be trusted and who could not. They shaped the way you love, fear, and attach to other people. And yet, you cannot reach them, cannot remember being them. A version of you that existed before the current one arrived and quietly disappeared so you could take their place. Maybe that's the strangest truth of all. Those memories were never truly erased. Only the story was lost. The influence remained. The shape of you remained. Hidden inside your instincts, your emotional reflexes, the fears you carry but cannot explain, like invisible fingerprints left behind by someone you used to be. Because to become who you are now, your brain had to do something extraordinary. It had to destroy the person who came before, neuron by neuron, room by room, until nothing remained of that version of you except the life they quietly built inside you. Your brain wasn't failing, it was becoming you, and that required leaving someone behind.